So what this is going to be an old school Superjet build, but with a brand new one. Where the idea came from was that I just got so sick and tired of working on the old motors all the time. And it's not that they're a problem, it's just that I've had a gutful. So I thought, why not buy a new Superjet, see how far the new body will go. I know it's all race-based, but there's no reason to not give it a go. I already know how to ride freestyle, so at least I've got a good platform and an idea of how to make something do what I want it to do. And so what I'm doing at the moment is trying to just see how much I can get it to perform before I end up ripping this whole setup out and then refitting it into one of these skis. We'll see how we go. I might end up really liking this setup and just keep it the way it is, because I am a grandpa these days, you know, but you never know. We'll see how this thing goes out there. It might teach me new tricks, may not, but yeah, start the build. Basically, we've got the foam, everything's pretty much where we wanted. I cut that a bit shallow earlier on, so I've just basically used the contact adhesive that we'll use for the turf to basically stick that back down. Everything isn't as exact as I would like it to be, but at the end of the day, it's going to work really well. And like I said, we're going to hide this shit with turf, most of it. And so the biggest problem with things like jet skis is that we're going to have silicone, oil-based products, all that shit's always on these things. So always try and make sure you use an acetone. Don't try and use reducing thinners, methylated spirits. Get acetone, it works better. You can tell that the product works when you're actually laying paint down. So after what we're doing right now is just making sure every square inch is clean, because we want to make sure that the product sticks, because even though this is a junkyard build, I'd rather know it's not straight, but I'd rather know that it's stuck together. Because at the end of the day, it's easier to make something stick together than it is to make it straight. So this is a flooring product, but you can buy other versions of this throughout Bunnings. You can buy it from other places. You would have seen this stuff on products. This is like sticky on the outside of the roll, so you can roll it with a roller on the carpets. You can protect the shit you're working on. So this is your chop strand. Most people are going to say that this particular product isn't any good versus your fucking, what do we got here? We've got a biaxial. Don't know which one it is. I just buy it off the boy. He gives me the right shit. You want to do the research yourself. But these two work perfectly together. What happens is you're essentially using a glue, and the glue has nothing in it. It's worth nothing. It's basically gel coat, essentially without pigment in it. Once you add this is a binding agent. This will mix with all of these tiny little tears that we've created here. And then once that binds to that, that'll bind to this, that's gonna bind to that. And so we can build layers upon layers. You can do vacuum forming, et cetera, but when you're at home doing stuff, this stuff here is amazing. Chuck some of this in there. Just don't put too much resin in it, forget about it. You're a home job, that's it. Build it so it's strong enough. If you're doing this properly, you want to be marking your stuff out, labeling it so you know that this is number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, whatever your layers are. With this chop strand, you don't want to, if you're going to be blending anything, you don't want to have a sharp edge. You want to be breaking that edge up. So you want to be tearing it like this, or you're going to be tearing it this way. So when you're laying it up, it's going to lay flat. So when you smooth it off later, it's going to work on the fucking substrate when you've got it done. Problem is I can't do this with the weave. I actually have to go find a pair of sharp scissors. Trying to find that in this house. Yeah, have fun with that. So just remember, this is cowboy work, what I'm doing. We would be doing a lot of other stuff to get it to this point, but to be honest, we just want this thing to be ripping flips. I might cut this a bit differently than the other stuff because it's gonna need relief cuts in it. I'm just gonna cut strips and I'm gonna stack the strips, and that'll probably work best for what I'm trying to get done at this particular stage. Just always try and give yourself a reference when you're doing even rough stuff that, you know, you're working towards a goal of something, because once your fingers get sticky, it's shit. It's just straight up shit. As pissed as all of this preparation is, I'm still gonna stack everything up as I'm gonna wanna grab it. Because again, my hands are gonna be sticky. I'm gonna be trying to grab shit, but I'm gonna wanna know where it is and when I grab it, because I'm not gonna try and get through this to get to that or whatever. Have things as you need it whilst you can grab it, because otherwise you're gonna be fighting and it's gonna go bad. When mixing products, yes, Yamaha recommends to use epoxy resins, and the reason being is that epoxy has a great adhesion for everything, so it's a great blanket thing. I'm using poly. The only reason I use poly is because it's cheap as fuck and I'm a cheap cunt. And the other part is that the fact is that this is a poly as well. So it will work as long as you do it properly, and that's what Yamaha's avoiding when they're doing their thing. They're just going, well, you don't know what you're doing, just use this, it's safe. And the other reason is that catalyst can be a problem for skin irritations. I burnt myself with epoxy. I've worked with epoxy in flooring and other things, and if I get near it, my face blows up like a balloon. So I avoid the shit like a fucking plague. So what we're gonna do is mix it up. We're gonna use measurements, jump online or jump on ChatGPT, whatever's easiest. Find out your temperature and how fast you want it to dry and what ratios you're gonna mix at. I basically do whatever it is. So I do 200 grams. I'm gonna use X amount of grams back this way, that way. So it just depends how fast you wanna do it. But again, if you get it too hot, it becomes a problem. So happy days. Oh, and by the way, I do have laminating resin, so this will never cure on the top side, so I can come back tomorrow and add more glass to it without prepping the surface. So if I stop doing whatever I'm doing, I can always come back and do it again, but I do have to finish it with wax, and these aren't the products. This is literally how I buy it, because I'm buying it off a guy that's buying truckloads of the shit, so. And so if you're ever mixing it, scrape the sides. So gel coat doesn't get hard, doesn't technically go hard. It's meant to be in a mold, and same with this. You add the wax, so it creates a barrier, then the barrier stops this and that and that and that. So I'm going to use the tray as the workspace. And make sure you wet your work out. That's the whole point. Because what'll happen is shit will not stick. So this is what I was talking about earlier on. I've already made myself a mess and I'm already sitting there watching that, and I haven't even got sticky fingers. So I'm just gonna get this in here, get it in position. Getting the shit wet. And so when people talk about weight in jet skis, when you start really doing the maths and you're weighing your resin while you're laying up your jet ski, you start realising how much this shit actually fucking weighs. You might go through, I can guarantee I'm going through that full 10. That's 4 kilos I'm adding straight up to this jet ski in product, you know? And it's just, it is what it is, you know? I'd love to be doing this while it's on its side.
Yeah, it'd be a bit easier.
It'd be fucking amazing. I'd just pour it in and forget about it. But again, slaptacular. I'm wondering why the blue stuff's there, because see how much my hand's touching shit? And this is what I'm saying, see how fluffy it is? See, it's already broken up. So this is what we'd refer to as a spaghetti western. And this is what I was talking about. It's all going to hell. I want fucking clean hands. Just grab fucking gloves, honestly. So pretty much stuck into it, kept going last night for a bit more, and then woke up early this morning, cranked into it. It had sagged under here because of the styrofoam obviously wasn't bonded, so I had to push it up and use the fiberglass to hold it in position. It would have been better just to cut that flush at the time and do it that way. And this is a great example of if you don't put in the preparation to make things finish well, it's going to look like dog shit, and that's it. But because I'm more than willing to basically grind this off and spend a bit extra time cleaning up the mess, it makes it easier for me in that regard. And yeah, so once I get all of this pulled apart, and I'm going to use some gloves because these spikes are very sharp and they're not fun to get out of your fingers. And then yeah, pull out the grinder, flapper disc, and then slap some HydroTurf on it. So with any quick job, it's as good as you could hope for and as bad as you think it would be, but as good as it needs to be. It's pretty strong, like you can hear it there, and just over here it's... So it's pretty solid, because it's running through now into there. This part isn't a separate part from there, so it's got a bit of integrity now, so should do what we need to do. Didn't think I was going to have enough turf, so we ended up using that. I'm going to be probably making something for the toe anyway. We're able to get the turf in well. We use the old mats as a template, so everything's pretty good there. And so now we just got to put the underlay in and put the turf on, and I guess drill some holes as well. So that'll be fun, but I'm just going to use the measuring tape and cross my fingers. So particular point, I'm actually going to glue the underlay down first. Normally I put the turf on top and then I put it down as one whole piece and then tuck the edges in. I'm going to glue this down in one piece just to get everything sorted. But where the exhaust is, there is a slight bulge, but to be fair, that slight bulge is FA and your foot's not going to be there. Even if it is, it's, you know, it's nothing at that particular point. So yeah, happy days. And there is actually a bit of an angle in this actual tray. It's not directly flat like a lot of the other trays, so something a bit different. Been working at it for a few hours. It's tidied itself up quite a fair bit. Tried to clean this up as best as we could. Again, I'm getting caught up in trying to make it look neat. It doesn't have to fucking be perfect, but you know what shit looks like and how things go. Still got to finish that side out and obviously drill these in and slap the Ninjas in. Clean up this sloppy glue before it cures, because it does cure to somewhat. It always breaks down this stuff, but it does get to a stage where you have to work it a bit harder. But all in all, I'm pretty happy, and so what we'll do is we'll wrap it up for today. I've got to be a family man and show you the finished product tomorrow, maybe, eh?
I can see you're skeptical. You could have a little faith, it never killed nobody. What you waiting for? We're getting closer by the step, feels like it's just getting started.
So we've got the lifters in, got the Ninjas in here. We've got the front foothold, because definitely want one of those. It's just so much more comfortable knowing that you've got more points for your feet to grab into if your feet ever come loose. We've got the hood pad. Wanted to put extra meat in there with that hood pad as well. I did remove the rubber block out of it as well, because I do want a lot of squish for it, just in case that, you know, it caves this hood in. Got the straps as well. Just for that extra little bit of knowing that it's on, because just in case, because I do have my limiting rope here, just in case I do blow the clip or a side impact, as you'd know from old Superjets, but these do have locators in them, so I don't think you're going to have that issue with them so much so. But otherwise, everything's really good. I'm happy with how it's all turned out. I'm actually super impressed with everything. If I was to redo anything, the only thing I'd probably do, instead of running the 4 bolts on the side, I'd run the 2 bolts, just so I could get that a little bit lower, because I did have to build some inserts to get the lowness that I need. If you're wearing basketball shoes, it wouldn't make a difference, but I wear frickin' gym shoes and basketball shoes, wrestling shoes, and I need that little bit lower. So if you're not, you know, easy done. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with everything so far, and I think she'll do what she needs to do at this particular time.
Just make a move and break the tension. Never let me go. I can see you're skeptical. You could have a little faith, it never killed nobody. What you waiting for? We're getting closer by the step, feels like it's just getting started.
First roll achieved, brother.
Yeah, not too bad. I was pretty happy with it, to be honest. It was good that it was a solid wave, and I'm glad it just got rid of those jitters you get with the first of anything. But yeah, tried a few more times on some of the other waves. I just kind of did burst through a lot of them. So I think with a better set of waves yesterday, similar yesterday when I was riding my other ski. So like obviously I'll get more pop out of my other ski, but you know, for the first real rip on the ski in the surf, I'm pretty happy with it. I can't complain at this point. So it feels awkward as usual, but I find myself more comfortable on other people's freestyle skis, so it's definitely not built in that way. But I think, you know, after 3-4 months of riding it, and you'll see some shit happening, I reckon.
Yeah, some flips coming, you reckon?
Oh, flips are coming.
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.